Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Transportation Talks. I'm your host, Nicholas Robb, and today I'm here with Zack. I already forgot. What is it?
DesJardins.
DesJardins, that's right. I was already going to do it wrong. So you work with the active transportation bike team for Fairfax County Department of Transportation, correct?
Yes.
And I guess you can kind of introduce yourself a little bit, tell us a little more about what you do and stuff.
Certainly. So I've worked for Fairfax County Department of Transportation for almost, actually 2 years this month.
Okay.
And prior to that, I worked for a small consultancy in on Arlington County in the city of Alexandria's capital Bikeshare program, including the founder of one of the founders of the capital Bikeshare system, Paul DeMeo. And I came over here to build new crosswalks and new bike lanes, and then also took on the capital Bikeshare program as well. So
nice. So what are some of the new projects regarding biking that are going on? I recently had Robin Geiger on to him. We were kind of chatting about the Monument and Springfield garage that are opening. I know she'd mentioned that there's some bike storage facilities going in there and stuff. I don't know if there's going to be a capital Bikeshare station there as well, or if that's something.
So at those two garages, there are going to be a secure bicycle room.
Okay,
so if you're a resident, you can sign up. I believe it's $60 a year plus an application fee of $15. Although I'll have to double check.
Yeah, I meant to ask her about that, how that works. Like if you're a resident, you want to lock up your bike there.
Yep. So you get a little fob, and that'll give you access to all of our bike rooms. So we have some over at the Wheelie-Reston Metro, and a couple other locations around the county.
Oh, cool.
So you can leave your bike in a secure facility while you're off, we're off taking transit somewhere.
Nice. That's really neat. Yeah. So there, like, I guess any other, I'm trying to think, like, any new bike lanes or anything else going on that
yes
people might be interested in.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of our spring repaving season. And so the Virginia Department of Transportation owns our streets, and they've worked with us for a number of years. So whenever they repave a street, we look and see if it's listed in our bicycle master plan to see if that would be a good street to add bike lanes on. And so we just wrapped up several meetings last week, and we've got one coming up next week that are proposing to add buffer bike lanes or regular bike lanes or crosswalks in various districts around the county. Everywhere from Anderson Road in Tysons to Hemming Avenue in North Springfield, Field Encampment Road out in Centerville. All those streets don't have bike lanes today. Okay. And by adding them in, and if you don't ride a bike, it will narrow the street and kind of reduce the speeding and whatnot. And as well as if you do ride a bike, it'll be a safer place for you to ride.
I thought that was kind of cool too, like the bike map that Fairfax County has those little color-coded maps on there, so you can kind of gauge like how safe like a route is, or like are you on the actual road itself, or like is this a separate trail or like a bike lane, and stuff like that. So I guess you guys would update the map and stuff like I guess that's always constantly being updated.
Yes, it is a challenge to update that map because over time things do change.
Yeah.
One of the projects I'm most excited about is the county is building a new bridge over Wheelie Avenue for the WOD Trail. This has been one of our key. We've had a lot of crashes involving bicycles and pedestrians crossing. It's a really kind of a hairy intersection for people to cross. A lot of drivers don't stop for people in the crosswalk. And so the bridge was lifted into place this past weekend.
Oh, nice.
And it should open this summer. So I'm counting the days down until I can go out and use it.
That's awesome. So yeah, a lot of people would take advantage of that. Do you think, I guess that'd probably help people feel a little more safer too, especially that section of the trail and stuff? Yeah,
absolutely. It's a really, it's a block from the Wheelie-Reston Metro, and we're looking for ways to provide a better connection between there and that metro station so that people can ride on the trail and then hop right over to the metro and be able to go places.
True, yeah, and to get to work and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was trying to think too, so yeah, you guys have been looking to put new, so I guess when you're looking for new bike routes or, bike lanes and stuff like that, are you looking more so to add bike lanes and stuff to places that currently don't have anything, or do you more focus on places that, might already have lanes, but then like kind of beefing up that infrastructure, I guess? Or is it just kind of like all over the...
I was going to say all of the above.
All of the above.
Yeah. So one of the things that we try to do when we do add bike lanes during our repaving process is we always try to get at least a 3-foot buffer space. So you have a bike lane, usually it's about 5 foot wide or sometimes 6 foot wide, and then there's a buffer space so that at some point in the future we can come back in and add a protected facility and add those barriers in there.
Oh, okay.
So we've added a couple of those down in Merrifield, where we like I think Gatehouse Road we added last year, and we got rid of about 6 street parking spaces in order to add this buffered facility that we could eventually upgrade when we get the funding. And
that's interesting because I noticed just today, like out on Monument, that they were kind of like redoing the paint, I guess, out there. Do you know? It looked like they moved the bike lane inward, so I guess it was on the out. There's like a buffer area, so there was the 1 lane buffer area, then the bike lane, but they switched the buffer lane and the bike.
So is the buffer on the outside or the inside?
The buffer is toward the curb now, and I guess the bike lane's right next to the traffic, which I thought was kind of weird. But I don't know if is that I don't know.
I'm not sure what
I'm
they had there. I don't have that plan.
I was like, I was like, that's odd. What do they do? I thought they just put those in.
Yeah. Sometimes engineers do odd things.
Nice, yeah. So like So yeah, I guess, are you guys looking to, you work with Capital Bikeshare to like get stations in certain places, and like how does that work?
Yeah,
like
so the
if there's like a employer too that are in Tysons, they want maybe a station outside their area.
Yep, yeah. So the Capital Bikeshare program is a regional bicycle transit service that allows people to check out a bike and ride to. We have 83 stations in Fairfax County. There's at least 770 are in the region as well, including those 83 in Fairfax. So you'll be able to ride to any one of those stations in 8 jurisdictions. DC, Arlington, Alexandria, and others. City of Fairfax was the latest to join. And anyway, so the system actually came to Fairfax in 2016. It came to Reston and Tysons. We added Merrifield in 2019. This year we've added a bike share to the Franconia Springfield Metro. That's right, and we have 2 stations that kind of support that, so people can ride to and from the metro. This is kind of the key spot. We've got a 4th one going in there hopefully soon. Kind of before the pandemic, we had a lot of our stations were focused around kind of more office commutes. So we had a lot of stations in Tysons because when the system was built in Tysons, they didn't have that many residential homes in Tysons. And so we had a lot of office-oriented locations. Obviously, during the pandemic, that market kind of dried up a little bit. Yeah. And so we refocused a little bit to try to add more stations to residential areas. We're trying to get some closer to our grocery stores and our shopping centers.
Gotcha, makes sense.
And the county's done a really great job in recent years allowing these new mixed-use buildings. And many of those, since 2016, have been built. Many more are planned. And so we're trying to add stations to those locations, either when it's built, the developer can actually fund that a piece of equipment, or we can add it afterwards.
Yeah. Do you see? Robin, when I spoke with her too, had mentioned I guess some of the e-bike. Like, so there's some of the Capital Bikeshare bikes are now e-bikes. Like that, was there like a strategy of where those go? Or are they just kind of all over the place now?
Yeah. So there's a little bit of strategy. So when I came on board about a little under 2 years ago and started managing this program, we only had about 5 e-bikes on order. Oh, okay. And we had a grant that I rescoped to include some more bikes. So we ended up we have about 145 e-bikes that we purchased. We're going to buy another 68 by the end of the year.
So they're definitely being used, I guess, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. So, and actually they're being used so much that we have, they make up about 18 or 19% of our fleet, but they make up about 42% of the trips.
I was going to ask, like, do you see, I guess, overall usage increasing since those have been implemented? And
yes, absolutely. Yeah. So 2023 was our record ridership year, and it almost doubled the previous year. Oh, wow. And it's up about 60% from 2019, our previous record. I
guess partly because of COVID too, but then coming out of that, and then but also because of the e-bikes too. So you got like a big spike in that.
Yeah, coming out of COVID and then getting people are going back to work. People are going out for longer trips, and so we've seen just the usage is just going up and up. And of course, I should add too, we've added a lot of stations last year. we went from 55 stations at the beginning of the year to 77.
Oh, wow.
Which is the most we've ever added.
Were those in a specific area of the county, or?
Yep. Yeah, so we added about 5 around the Vienna metro, because one of the things we did a study a number of years ago with the George Mason University and the city of Fairfax to evaluate the feasibility of adding a capital bike share to essentially that string. So you have the Vienna metro, then you have the city of Fairfax, and then just south of them is George Mason University Fairfax campus. And so we added stations around our part of the Vienna metro. And then the city of Fairfax added 10 stations in their jurisdiction. And then just this past month, George Mason University bought 3 stations of their own. And so they're part of our system. We work with them very closely to make that happen.
And I can, like, if I was like an employer, for example, like interested in getting a station, like, is that possible or something I could do easily, or?
Yes and no. It depends on where you are.
Yeah.
We have more than a dozen private property owners that host stations out of their own free will. A lot of property owners feel it's a benefit to their employees.
So that's something for like recruiting employers and retention too, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of some of the private property owners, especially the apartment owners. It's an amenity for their residents, and so they're able to kind of promote that. And they're sometimes we'll see their ads for their units, and they're saying, "Oh, and Capital Bike Share is right here." So. Nice. So yeah, if you are interested in hosting a station on your property, please do reach out, because it's always something we welcome and are interested in potentially making a way happen.
Mm-hmm. And then I guess like general residents who are interested, they just download the app, or is that how that works? And then they just go out that way.
Yeah, a lot of our trips. So you can use the Capital Bike Share app. That's our own dedicated app. If you use Lyft, the ride hailing service, you can use Capital Bike Share that way.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Lyft is the contractor that actually maintains the bikes, and so if you've seen they usually have white vans that drive around and add bikes or remove bikes to the stations.
I've probably seen them and just like subconsciously not paid attention.
Yeah. So.
Have you ever seen, are there any cases of residents like using them and putting them on like the front of the bike racks on the bus, and then, just to go like, okay, there's not a station to where I'm going, but I could use the bike here and then get off and then ride it to another station, like first mile, last mile kind of? Yeah,
I have on occasion. Generally, we try to, we're trying to add all the metro stations. We have 13 metro stations in Fairfax County, and we're trying to get bike share at all of them. We've added Greensboro, we've added Vienna, we've Franconia, Springfield. We're hoping to serve Huntington by the end of this year, as well as Innovation by this year or early next year.
Gotcha.
And Herndon as well.
So I kind of actually, something I was thinking was like, what's the future, I guess, look like for biking in general and Capital Bike Share in Fairfax County? So
for Capital Bike Share, we've the county's done a really fantastic job of getting money for the system to expand. Our senators gave us an earmark to actually add $1 million, for a little over $1 million, to add Capital Bike Share to underserved parts of the county. And so we're looking to add it along the Mount Vernon Trail in the Mount Vernon district and add some stations over there. We're looking to add some in the Franconia district, kind of on the south side of the Huntington metro. Mm-hmm. And then we're also looking to add stations in Annandale, Bailey's Crossroads, Seven Corners, Colmore.
Gotcha. Nice.
And really kind of build out the areas of the county that have not had, a lot of bicycle infrastructure or have not had a lot of investment in. So
the infrastructure as well as like the bike share stations, I guess.
The grant only covers bike share stations.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
The grant will also pay for, we've scoped it so we're primarily going to buy e-bikes going forward.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So at some point we're going to have a 50-50 split between 50% e-bikes and 50% of the red classic bikes you see riding around.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else you kind of want to touch on or mention for anybody who's maybe doesn't know everything that's going on regarding active transportation stuff. I don't know if I'd mention anything else, but is there anything else you can think of that you wanted to, anything else you wanted to mention for anybody listening? I think we've covered quite a bit.
One of the things one of the most exciting things that we're working to do is we're trying to build out these things called road diets. And so the county has worked with the Virginia Department of Transportation over the years to, in many parts of many of our roads were overbuilt, and as a result, they were often built with 4 lanes or even more lanes, and as a result, and for whatever reason, they never got the traffic that we anticipated.
Okay.
And so we are working to do a number of road diets. We've got some grants to do some in Merrifield and other places, and that will most of those projects should result in some pretty decent bicycle infrastructure, so buffered bike lanes with the potential to retrofit in the future to make them protected.
Oh, nice.
That some of them will kind of connect to a lot of our existing bicycle infrastructure, so it'll form this previously kind of unbikeable 4-lane street where most people wouldn't want to ride a bike.
Yeah.
They'd be able to ride down that street.
That's funny because I only first, I think, heard that term a couple months ago, road diet, and I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
That's when the road on a diet. I was like that.
It's a little confusing because, and a lot of people are apprehensive about it because, we're certainly raised as a society to, more is better. As often the case. And in a road diet's case, we're taking away a travel lane or 2, and as a result, people are, think that capacity will go down. We generally found that not to be the case because most of our road diets will result in having a center turn lane. And so if you're going down the street, if you're driving and on a 4-lane street without a turn lane, people will often have to turn left, and you'll have to stop behind them wait and go around. By moving those people out of that flow of traffic, we kind of maintain the capacity of the street.
So you kind of gain an extra lane that way if you center.
Yep, exactly.
That turn lane like that.
So it's a lot safer to make those turns. We have a lot fewer rear-end crashes as a result. And we also, of course, have that fabulous new space for bicycling as well. And then if you're walking along the sidewalk, a lot of these roads don't have the travel lane's right next to the sidewalk.
Right, it's like right on the curb there.
Yeah, and so you'll be walking along and there'll be cars whizzing by you. You're not too far away. And so by pushing that traffic kind of towards the middle of the road and having the bike lane kind of buffer that walking space, that sidewalk, it makes for a lot better experience.
Even for the pedestrians too. Yeah, that's a good point.
And the other cool thing with these road diets is it creates space in the middle of the road. And so the whole road doesn't have to be a center turn lane. We can actually cut a piece of that out and drop in this concrete island that people can in a new crosswalk, so that if you can cross the street, you can wait in this island, and you'll have to cross 1 lane at a time too.
Good plan.
So that's a lot safer because a lot of times on our 4-lane roads, one driver will stop and the other driver may not, or try to go around them. And a pedestrian or someone biking is trying to cross, and that's a key source of crashes. And so by only having 1 lane in each direction and crossing that 1 lane in each direction, it makes it a lot safer.
Gives you like a point to kind of reassess, okay, I made it this far, okay, what's going on this side?
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to take in all the lanes and what's going on at one point in time.
Yeah, you only have to look in one direction. And that really, if especially your kids often have a lot of trouble judging the speed of traffic. And so being able to look in one direction and then cross the other way.
Oh, that's great.
So we've got lots and lots of those pedestrian islands going in throughout the county, and hopefully we're going to get some as a part of our road diet process as well.
Cool. Yeah, that's great. Can't think of anything else unless there's something else you had, but...
No, I don't think
sure.
I don't have anything else.
No, that's it. Okay. Well, man, thanks for coming in and sitting and having a chat with me, and appreciate it, Zach. And I guess we'll be back with another episode of Transportation Talk. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.